Welcome everyone to the Side Draft Podcast. This past weekend wasn't racing in the weekend. We had a rain out for the NASCAR Cup Series and Xfinity Series, but we went racing on Monday.
It's always good to see a race on Monday. So a lot of people work, and we kind of miss out a lot of times, but it's always interesting to watch.
Yeah, set your DVR, come home and actually watch the race, and had a lot of schoolwork today, and sitting there like, I want to go home, watch the race. Come on, be quiet, teacher, let me go. But
I mean, for a long work day, he's like, gotta get home, watch the race, gotta get home.
The real race starts driving home. It's not the race itself, it's the race home. But we're here to review the Big Machine Vodka 400 at the Brickyard, presented by Florida Georgia Line. Say that 2 times fast. But
that's a lot to say right there.
But just like the Xfinity Series, since all the rain out, we would start the field by owner points. So Kyle Busch would start on the pole, and season rival Kevin Harvick would start right next to him. Kasey Kahne, he would have to sit out of this race due to some dehydration, health issues. But Regan Smith, being Regan Smith, he would cover for him in the 95.
Yeah, I really hate not seeing Kasey Kahne here at the Brickyard. I know he won it last year. I want to see if he can go back to back, and ain't sure what kind of issues he's going through right now, but we wish him all the luck and hope to see him back at the track.
It was great to see Regan Smith back in the car. He's the go-to guy if you have a driver that needs to miss a race. But to start this race, Kevin Harvick would battle Kyle Busch for the lead, but he thought Kyle Busch would be pitting with him, but Kyle Busch would barely miss the pit entrance, and Harvick would be the only one down pit road, and Harvick would have a penalty for uncontrolled tire. But it was a little controversial, I think.
Yeah, it seemed like the guy had control over it. I mean, I know you can't just push it, but he was stumbling, and he still, with them arms, reached the tire. I mean, I don't understand that call myself, but NASCAR controls all the rules.
Yeah, and they would just have to deal with that, and not really too bad at the very beginning, having all those competition cautions. Denny Hamlin would stay out. He would play the old fake out there, and he did pretty well on the restarts.
He held his own for a while.
For a little while, yeah. And penalty for Stenhouse under the competition caution. He would also have an uncontrolled tire, which that one was for sure uncontrolled.
We just roll it to another box and somebody else catch it. So.
It's an arm's length of them, but
it ain't uncontrolled. I'll throw it to him. He can have the tire. I'm done with it.
It's like the football. You're just throwing tires at people. Touchdown. But Harvick and Kurt Busch would pit before competition caution number 2. I guess that's the thing. But yeah, they would try some pit strategy. Speeding penalty for Stenhouse. It's like a broken record for some.
Yeah. You try some strategy, you go into pits, and then you get bit by the speeding police or the tire issues or whatever. I mean, it's just it's a gamble you got to take.
I still think we need a speeding police. The pace car can do it. We don't have to spend money. We just need the pace car to go pull him over.
It'd be taking too long to catch you.
But then the race would start, and the pace car is out there going full throttle trying to get to him.
You can't catch me.
It's like when the cop gets behind you on the street. You're worried if you're going to get pulled over. Just have the pace car get behind people, just to intimidate them. But yeah, next we would have Brad and Blaney. They would touch in pit lane. Not a very good pit stop for Blaney this weekend. We had him colliding with Brad just a little bit. Then later on, as we'll talk about, him missing his pit box.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult when you're driving two different numbers in the same day.
Yeah.
So, and he had a really long day. I mean, he's starting at 10 o'clock and then racing all day long. So, it was him and Chase and Austin racing all day. So, it's really good to see them race a lot. If the temperature wasn't real hot, I mean, I don't think they would have done it.
Yeah, I would have just said, nope, I ain't even doing it this week. Get some random guy to take my car, get a fan to drive it. But shortly after that, we'd have Martin Truex Jr. having a demonic tire to just blow up out of nowhere and end his day.
Yeah, I believe it was a brake issue. His rotor pieces just exploded. So, hate for him. I mean, and just think if it was like next week.
Oh yeah,
getting the playoffs, and then something like this would happen, and that could just end his championship hopes.
Now Truex has had a rough couple of weeks. We had, Darlington. He had some pit issues. Got penalized there, and then Bristol had that contact with Kyle Busch. It just hadn't been a good couple of weeks for Truex.
Yeah, I believe with Furniture Road closing down at the end of the season. They're just having some troubles in that team.
Yeah, and hopefully they can get it collected together. Just have one good final run with them, get the championship. Because I'm pretty sure they're not just going to say, "Well, we're done. Let's quit." I think they really want to get 2 in a row championships.
Yeah, some people would question if he's still in the big 3 or not, but I wouldn't count Truex out.
No. But Boyer would close out the stage and get another stage win for Boyer and Stuart Haas Racing.
Yeah, Boyer, he's really showing some speed right now, and he's ready for his playoffs to start.
So stage 2 would begin. Pit road penalty for Kurt Busch as his brother Kyle Busch would take the lead and restart. We saw he would clip the grass just a little bit there.
Yeah, I ain't sure what was happening. He said he's cleaned the tires off, and I ain't sure if something happened to steering or what after he clipped the grass. And was pretty much after that we didn't really hear much from him.
Yeah, it's just whatever happened there. So the grass can really, ruin your day. Just leave that little tiny moment there. It just ruins your car. But I would say Kyle Busch is similar to Truex, just having a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah, really, the big 3 was having some issues today.
Just odd issues. It's like Truex, rotor exploding, Harvick with uncontrolled tires, and
the penalties in the pits.
The pit gun would blow up, and it seems like the racing gods is against these guys now. When before they were blessing them, and now they're...
Well, I think everything for the whole weekend was just wasn't going...
It was backwards. Right. The little 3 was up front now. I don't even know who that is. But the 43 would get loose with no brakes. The 51 slams into him while the 52 spun.
Yeah, I believe the 52 was going up under, trying to dodge him. And he clipped the grass and slid up in the wall and stuff. And the 43 come down. I guess the 51 couldn't get slowed down enough and just slammed right into the 43.
Very odd that we have the 51 and the 52 wreck.
Yeah, because that don't add up to 43. I mean,
yeah. Intense counting with Bubba Wallace. But Bubba was very excited to get out of that car. We saw him do a victory stance out of the car. He had a very cheerful interview, so it's great to have that type of personality in the sport.
Yeah, I'm glad that since he ran out of brakes, he did have a little bit of brakes, but I'm glad he didn't hit the wall like he did at Pocono. and he learned a little bit from that. He went ahead and threw the winning net down, let everybody know he was okay. So I'm glad to see he's walked out of it okay.
Yeah, so thankfully 43, Bubba Wallace was okay and safe. Again, with the big three having issues, Kyle Busch would have more mechanical issues in his car.
It's just something about this weekend is having some struggles.
Harvick would say that he wanted everything back to normal. He would lead for a few laps, and then he would have a vibration randomly with 11 to go. So, again, more issues for the big three this weekend.
Yeah, I guess that car was a little nervous. It had a little vibration in it or something. I don't know if it might have been a loose wheel or whatever it was, but some kind of vibration. And so he pits with 11 to go in the stage.
And I shouldn't say weekend. I should say this Monday.
Yeah, this week.
This week. The racing week. It's speed week again. The 18 would have a penalty for pitting. Wait for it. Too soon.
What?
I didn't understand what they were saying at first until they really explained. But still,
I think it's pitting too late because, because when the 6 car takes goes across the start-finish line, that brings out the caution, which Kyle Busch is right there at the line of the pit road, and it closes, about 10 foot from the line. So that's really tough for them because they've already committed on pit road.
There's nothing you can do. Is just deal with it and see what you can salvage out of your day. Almirola would have a pit road penalty for speeding, and he would have a black flag for that.
Yeah, I ain't coming in, so they're gonna give him a black flag, and they know if he stays out there, don't serve the penalty, we're gonna not score you anymore.
And Kenseth would stay out to win stage number 2. And
it's really good to see him up front again and win a stage.
Yeah, great for Roush Fenway. Something that, it's not a win, but it's still something you can, brag about and go back and bring some momentum for your team. Didn't get the finish he wanted, but...
I know he wasn't really happy about winning the stage because of the whole strategy going on, because once they win the stage and the ones that pitted before the caution would actually get in front of him, and he'd get mired back in the traffic again.
Clint Boyer would battle William Byron for the lead, and Kyle Busch would have to go to the pit lane once again for another tire issue. So, not doing good for Kyle Busch currently. Green flag pit stops would be underway anyway. As we said before, Ryan Blaney misses his pit box. Said after the race that he thought he was in the 22 box again as he raced an Xfinity race.
I guess let me go see how Joey's team pits the car.
I wonder if they could pit for another car.
I don't know.
Would that be a penalty, you think?
Would that be considered pitting out of the box?
I don't know. So I might need to ask NASCAR that and somehow send them an email.
My team's not ready. Can I get y'all's tires?
It's like, man, you guys suck. I'll go in this guy's pit box. Come on, team, go.
Yeah, he's having a really good day. I believe if he didn't have an issue on the last pit stop, he'd have a much better finish.
Yes, but he still finished pretty good. Not like a top 5 or anything, but still much better from last week, so it's a plus.
Yeah, because he was running top 5 a lot of times a day. Finished 3rd in Xfinity race and finished left in the Cup.
Yeah.
So, ain't a bad day for him.
And Denny would have some issues with his power steering. Didn't really seem to affect him that much. Still running some good laps out there. And would have a caution out for debris as Denny Hamlin would lead. And
at this point, I believe that Brad Keselowski would try to stay as long as he could, and he pits at this caution right here.
Yeah, and I think it really helps Brad out, as the 3 car would hit the wall, would stay green. So Denny Hamlin, he knows Brad's got fresher tires behind him. Brad doesn't have enough time unless the caution would happen.
He was making some real good moves coming through the field too. So.
Yeah, came up from way back in the pack to like 4th in the first couple laps. So did pretty good dicing through the field, and that's the thing that the 2 crew does the best, is these strategies, and they getting the caution at the right time there. And I think that moment was what truly won the race for the 2 crew, as the caution would come out with Landon Castle and Jeffrey Earnhardt, and that pretty much lays the bed for Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, they kind of got real loose off the turn, and they hard hitting the wall. So for both of them, it's just, man.
So we would have a great battle between Brad and Denny. Saw some beating and banging. Denny's just trying to somehow mess Brad up to where, Brad just can't get back to him. It just doesn't work, and Brad just cruises on to a victory.
Yeah, I believe Brad was like, man, what's the name of that podcast? Oh, Side Draft. Let me do some side draft off his Denny Hamlin. So
we helped Brad to a victory.
Yay.
So Brad Keselowski would win his 2nd crown jewel in a row, when before this season he hasn't won a single crown jewel.
Yeah, that's the way Brad wants to do it. He says, my number's number 2. I'm going to do 2 in a row. And he gained a lot of points, just his back-to-back wins.
So unfortunately for Brad, Las Vegas is not a crown jewel. So
but you can still win it.
Still get 3. So here's how our picks did for this week. I picked Truex, and I'm sorry, Truex, I give you bad luck. Send me the bill for that rotor. No, don't, please. I can't afford it. I'm a college student. But your pick was Kyle Busch, and also gave him some bad luck.
I don't know if that's good or bad. So. Nah, he really come back and finished 8th. And it ain't a real bad finish for him.
Yeah, it really shows like how great of a race car driver Kyle Busch is. He had so many issues. Like, you write a book of how many issues he had during this race. Still get a top 10 out of it. That's pretty awesome, and it shows what type of skill Kyle Busch has.
Yeah, I think he really matured some. Other times he'd be really screaming at everybody like about what kind of day he had, and today it showed. They showed some diversity coming through there, and even have trouble, just keep digging and just get the best finish you can.
And with skills like Kyle Busch has, that produces championships, even though that it's not technically a championship, but he is the regular season champion, awarded 15 additional playoff points. So now him and Kevin Harvick are pretty much tied in the playoff running. They're all at like 1,040, something like 50, I think. Let me just double check here. 2,050. They're both tied there. With Martin Truex Jr. with 2,035. Brad Keselowski with 2019. So he's thinking ahead for next year.
Yep.
Clint Boyer's in the past in 2015. Logano also in 2014. Add Kurt Busch with 2014. Chase Elliott's in 2008. Blaney's with 2007. Jones 2005. Dillon also with 5. Larson also with 5. Hamlin with 2003. Almirola with 2001. And Johnson and Bowman both have 2000. So that is your playoffs. So now it officially starts. We have 10 more weeks of NASCAR. So it's weird how fast this season has just flown by. We're already at this point. We're already thinking about the three races in each round. We got it's very different from last year. We're starting out with Las Vegas. We're going to Richmond. We're going to a new format called the Roval.
That's going to be a real wild card because nobody knows anything about it.
So as we go to Vegas, who is your pick to take home the first playoff win of the playoffs?
I'm going to go with Clint Boyer.
Oh, wow. Very interesting pick.
He's been showing some strength, so I think I'll go with Clint.
Yeah, that'd give him a lot of momentum, though. Be the first one of all these guys, to clinch a playoff spot. And it's really important to win now, because we're going to the Roval and no one knows what that's going to be like. Get that win as soon as possible, and then you just don't really have to worry about it that much.
Yeah, I think the intensity is going to start picking up next week, and I know last year, the intensity wasn't as much, but I believe this year, I believe the team is going to be picking up the intensity.
So as for me and my pick, I'm going to pick another member of the Big Three. Yeah, big surprise. But I picked Kyle Busch this week. I think him and Kevin Harvick are going to be unbeatable at these tracks. I think it's pretty much how Las Vegas is going to go. We saw how dominant Harvick was last time. But I think Kyle Busch has the better pit crew at this point, and I think they'll prevail.
That's real good.
So we're going to predict the playoffs, sort of. Who do you think is going to be the first four eliminated in this round?
First four, well, you got to go with Bowman. Almirola, probably Austin Dillon, and Eric Jones.
Well, I'm going to agree with Bowman. I think that team is just, they're good. They're just not playoff good. They're just kind of, sometimes they have a really good race and other times they're not. But I think if they could fix that issue, they'll be pretty good. But something I think that they'll have to look forward to for next year. I'm going to add in Jimmy Johnson. I think, Team Hendrick just have struggled this year, and I think it's just going to continue. And I'm going to go with Austin Dillon and Denny Hamlin.
Wow. So that's pretty interesting, too.
Yeah. Because, these guys towards the back, they just don't have a lot of cushion. If Hamlin can perform like he did today, I think he'll be okay. But it's going to be a great battle between him and Almirola, Larson, and Eric Jones. There's a lot of great guys you just don't want to strike out yet, but someone has to go. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. We might see some bigger names get cut out from the playoffs. But we'll see you at Las Vegas for a triple header with the trucks, Xfinity, and Cup.
Yep, and I want to give another big shout out to Brad Keselowski. It's his very first Roger Penske win at the Brickyard. So congratulations to that team.
Yeah, win number 499 for Penske.
Yeah, so he's got one more to get to 500 this year.
Who will it be? Will it be Blaney, Logano, or Brad? And we'll battle it out.
Well, let's see. Logano's got one, Brad's got two, so I guess Blaney's about to start picking it up.
Blaney's going to get 3. But yeah, that is the end of today's review. Join us Wednesday for Why Fans Love Chase Elliott. If you're a fan of Chase, just comment down below what made you become a fan, and we may read your comment in our podcast. So there's still time to write your submissions, and we'll see you next week for the reviews of all 3 series at Las Vegas.